I'm gonna move that back to the keep pile. That's what's gonna happen right there. It's gorgeous. Joanna Gaines, you're gorgeous. Your books are gorgeous. But I found another pancake. Ooh, chicken spaghetti. That was good. Is Hope's Table. This book is gorgeous. The sausage gravy, pretzel bun. Hope. Helmuth, I didn't even know her last name. I just knew her. We're on a first name basis in our kitchen. In this video here, is clutter actually a sign of this? I chatted about how our clutter may not be a sign of being untidy or being disorganized. So today's video is the next part of that conversation that I started in that video. So grab a mug, join me, coffee, tea, water. What are you drinking? I'm drinking water. I'm glad you're with me today. My name is Erica Lucas, and I share videos here on YouTube and blogs over on my website with ideas and inspiration that might help you simplify your life. I have been doing that for 3 years, and I really enjoy sharing that journey with you. Okay, so recognizing that our clutter is an indication that things might need to change in our space can make us feel uncomfortable. So in this video, I'm going to share 3 ways that might help you navigate that discomfort when you're decluttering. And we want to get rid of things. We feel it in our soul that we want to declutter, but it's hard and we keep too much stuff. We just have too much stuff. It's hard to let go. I was stuck there 3 years ago. And I shared on this channel, and you guys pulled me through it with all of your tips. And so I'm returning that back to the community here. Reverse decluttering is it's a switch in the decision-making process of decluttering, and can help you when you are trying to declutter, but you can't. You're keeping too much. You know you're keeping too much, but you can't help yourself. Asking myself, what do I want to keep from a pile? Instead of what I want to declutter from a pile, helps me identify what's extra in my life, or at least in that pile, the unchosen parts of the pile. So starting with the word keep instead of the word declutter reverses the evaluation of a category, a pile, a room, a stack of cookbooks. But even choosing what to keep might be hard, and that's where I am with this. Keeping stuff that you use, you need, you love, you treasure may come easy to you. It sometimes does to me, and sometimes it's really hard, especially if I feel compelled to keep too much, or even just some, because emotions get triggered during that process and it slows us down on the decision making and it makes it hard. So right now for me, cookbooks are that category. It has been really hard for me to make my peace with this stack. I have shared that a couple of times in the last couple of months. I have a hard time getting rid of cookbooks that I rarely use. I don't want to necessarily donate items that I've spent a good bit of money on, but I haven't used them enough, and I feel like I might use them. We're using a 5-week meal rotation right now. It's been glorious. It's amazing. It's simple. I love it so much. I planned breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 5 weeks. I sit down, I do it, I'm done for 5 weeks. So hanging on to these cookbooks, they get in way for 5 weeks. I have too much in this category because most of what I pick for those 5 weeks don't really come from here. I'm sharing this category with you, my cookbooks, because I'm going to ask you to share the category that you're struggling with right now in the comments below. Maybe it's your closet. Maybe it's cookbooks. Maybe it's kitchen appliances, dog toys, kids' toys, whatever. Maybe you got stuck. You started and you got stuck. Maybe you've made the decision and you physically just need to get it out of your house or out of the trunk of your car. No matter what stage you're in, please share a comment below. I love reading your comments, and I enjoy when we all interact in the comments and support each other. All right, so let's dig into those 3 things that I mentioned that might make it easier when you want to keep too much stuff. This can apply to a stack of cookbooks, a room, a category, a random pile of things, your junk drawer. It's just a breakdown of the reverse decluttering process. And I'm going to apply it as we chat through it to my stack of cookbooks here, because often when I chat through things with you guys, I get into a good decluttering place, whatever. And truth be told, I am uncomfortable because I have tried decluttering this several times in the last few months and kept getting stuck. It felt forced, so I didn't want to do it. So first, we have to be honest about what we really want to keep. That's the first of the 3 things. If you feel empowered by wanting to live with less, that is a great sign of growth and potential growth. I want to live with less cookbooks. I don't know how to do it. Maybe you're staring at a room full of art supplies, scrapbooking supplies, sewing stuff, clothes, toys, anything. This process, this reverse decluttering process, will help you. And being honest about which items you truly want in your life is the first part of that reverse decluttering process. So when I look at this pile with honest eyes, I don't want to keep this many. And if I start with the ones I want to keep, okay, I want to keep this one. I don't know yet. Probably, oh gosh, see, here we go already. Yes, I'm going to put the maybes over here. I'm just going to make a super quick pass at what I'm doing. Okay. These are the ones I've chosen to keep. Quick pass. And these are the ones that I have not chosen. I don't know that I'm necessarily decluttering these yet. So the second part of the trick is in reverse decluttering is to ask why and where. So why do I want to keep these and where do I want to keep these? So I've actually dedicated a shelf in our library to cookbooks because I could not find a really good place in my kitchen for the ones I wanted to keep. And somehow every 5 weeks I'm lugging all of these out and it's very annoying. So I'm kind of already making my peace with the ones I chose not to keep quickly. And if you are struggling to draw a line between keep, I'm hugging them, and unchosen, then make a quick decision and see where you end up, like I just did. Try not to think about it too much. So then I asked myself why, as part of this second step, why were these unchosen? Well, I don't really pull recipes from it. And that was my quick decision factor. I don't actually pull anything from these. These were not what I expected them to be. I didn't get a lot out of them. Okay, these were not what I expected to be. So when these are not doing the job. Why am I hanging on to them? You know, I'm usually, if I'm able to definitively and easily choose where items go in my house, it helps me. And I know that the where was annoying me because I had to dig all of these out. And sometimes it's hard to figure out where a chosen item should be kept in our house. It took me a few months to figure out where to put them and second guess my decisions on what I wanted to even keep, which is how I ended up with too many in the first place. And once I figured out a permanent place, it became a little more transparent in what I actually use and being honest with myself and asking myself, why do I want to keep these? I'm sitting here and I did a quick pass because sometimes it takes too long to make these decisions. And if I touch them too many times, it makes it even harder. And I'm just gonna look at my piles for a sec because I know I definitely pull from these. This is a no-brainer keep. I didn't really, I mean, it's got a lot of tabs, but they're things that we tried that my family wasn't like super duper excited about. So I'm okay with this one being donated. I'm okay with that one. This one I'm struggling with because I actually did make a few things and we really enjoyed them. And they're also very simple Italian recipes. I'm gonna move that back to the keep pile. That's what's gonna happen right there. Lazy Genius Kitchen. See, I'm right back where I started from. I feel like I didn't give it enough of a chance. This is a great book, but it's not a cookbook. It's a here's how to make your life better in the kitchen book. So I'm okay with letting go of that and actually giving it forward to someone because I got something out of it and I think it's time for someone else to get something out of it. This one I go back and forth with. Every time I declutter cookbooks, I decide to declutter it and then I pull it back in. First of all, it's gorgeous. Joanna Gaines, you're gorgeous. Your books are gorgeous. And I've got tabs on the side of stuff I've made. Oh man. My mother-in-law gifted this to me too. I've used it. We make Greek pancakes out of here, but I found another pancake. Ooh, chicken spaghetti. That was good. But I made a note, too much cream cheese. The best ever fluffy pancakes. I have a pancake. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done with this book. Joanna, you and I need to have our parting moments. Goodbye, Joanna. Your book is beautiful and it will be beautiful in someone else's kitchen for a time until they decide to declutter it. All right, so I'm going to take the tabs out of this guy and declutter it. That's what's going to happen. And now visiting it another time and really being cognizant of the choices that I made and the line that I drew between keeping and not picking. Keeping and not picking. I didn't necessarily decide to declutter these initially. They were just not chosen as keep. And when I revisited my decision, it came out as declutter. And then I moved the Tucci cookbook back over because I'm not done with you, Stanley. I'm not done with you. I'm not done with him. I'm still working my way through his recipes. They're really good. And then I have my 4 Pioneer Woman. I actually do use these. And in my 5-week rotation, I have several recipes that I reference these cookbooks for to make. And then my newest item in the collection is Hope's Table. This book is gorgeous and fantastic recipes in here. I've already tabbed and made some things. It's everyday recipes from a Mennonite kitchen that she makes. You guys, seriously, the sausage gravy, pretzel buns. My oldest goes crazy for those pretzel buns, baking corn chowder. I mean, these are all just, so that's a keep at the top right there, that one. I'm definitely not done walking with Hope on that one. See, Hope. Helmuth, I didn't even know her last name. I just knew her. We're on a first name basis in our kitchen. Me and Hope, me and Stanley. All right, so there we go. Okay, so I started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I started with 9 and I landed with 6. I'm okay with that because these are, okay, so I use 5 of my 6 often. Stanley and I need to step it up for him to stay in the stack. But the other 3, I'm okay with giving forward and letting someone else enjoy those because they served a purpose in a different season of my life. And now they need to go. And I'll tell you, it's a bit of a release. I actually feel good about it because I've been thinking about it for months. And if you think about decluttering your cookbooks for months, you probably need to declutter them and move on with your life, Erica. Okay? And the third part that I want to share with you is to forgive yourself. And I need to do this myself. Forgive yourself for spending money on things you wanted in a different stage of your life. Forgive yourself for wanting to be the person who cooks from a lot of these. Acknowledge that you've reached the point where you have the emotional capacity to confront these decisions and your fears about decluttering items in your house. And facing your fears about decluttering, it's a win. It's a big win because it leads to the kind of change that you're wanting for yourself and that you're wanting to make. I don't want to have a whole bunch of cookbooks. So accepting that the discomfort that comes from decluttering and figuring out how to deal with it is a stage of growth. It's a stage of healing. The next part of this conversation will be in another video. And I think it's a really deep conversation about accepting the and while decluttering. Looking back at the and part of my decluttering journey, that and was humongous. And I didn't know that the and was huge in my face. Decluttering and still being surrounded by stuff. Making progress decluttering and having a long way to go. It's a balance. Wanting to live with less and feeling unable to declutter. Forgiving yourself for past choices and embracing new choices and the consequences that come from those new choices, like letting go of financial guilt for something you spent money on and didn't really use. There's a dichotomy in decluttering that is divided by this and word. And I want to really kind of talk more about that in another video soon. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to stick around for the continuation of this conversation. And I'll put a link to that video right here. And in the meantime, you may also enjoy this video about decluttering one day at a time and how it can impact your life. You'll also find a link to the first part of this conversation where we talked about what clutter might mean in the description box below.